kick off with Friday's Express, Josh. It looks like the so-called online safety bill actually carries some significant danger, at least for complacent prime ministers.
Yeah, Tory rebellion threatens Sunak as nearly 40 Conservative MPs revolt over online safety law. Essentially, this online safety bill has been just going on, and it's important that they get it right, and I do think something does need to be done. What they're trying to push through is this thing where if the heads of the companies would essentially go to jail for 2 years if they've been found to have harmed children. There are, and this is...
And their definition of harm is very strange.
Well, this is it, self-harm. So that's the problem is, and they're sort of looking at it now going, seeing what unintended consequences are. Well, that's the thing about unintended consequences. You don't know, really. So I think...
Not intended.
Yeah, exactly. So it's people like Priti Patel, Ian Duncan-Smith. I'm personally wondering if there's something else going on here and a bit of politics in play to sort of... You've got these rebels, these former or present sort of fans of Boris Johnson.
They're going to try and launch another coup.
No, but I think it's them flexing their muscles a little bit.
Right.
Because also there's something else that's going on, which was on one of the papers, how Johnson is basically... There's a possibility of him getting a safe seat if these people all back off.
Right.
And that he wants a safer seat.
Has he not got a safe seat?
No, not
Uxbridge
is not safe enough, essentially.
Okay.
So that could be... This could be part of sort of tying into all of that.
Yeah.
So
this
we'll
might
see.
be a sort of
little play.
bit of smoke-filled horse trading.
What we do know is that he doesn't want anything to rock the boat. We've seen it now with the wind farms. We saw it with the developing bill, the way through. Any time that they sort of get their backs up, he backs off straight away. He just doesn't want to show any rebellion.
And of course, Leo, the online safety and the harms, pensioner, the online safety arms, what they have these days. But this has become an extraordinarily divisive issue in Scotland as well, right? This is probably the single closest thing to a rebellion that Sturgeon has had to.
Well, this is it's a ridiculous piece of legislation. I mean, we're used to seeing ridiculous legislation both sides of the border. The hate crime bill in Scotland, the policing bill down here. But this is, there's unprecedented restrictions on lawful speech and unfettered monitoring of WhatsApp and communication systems you'd think were private, and it'll leave tech companies responsible. The CEO is liable for jail, so obviously they're going to play super safe and remove anything that could be identified as harmful. And anything could be harmful. You post something saying, "Oh, I'm going golfing." That could be perceived as harmful because somebody could get hit by a golf ball. I mean, this is seriously.
Well, they certainly said. I mean, one of the things that the first chill wind that we felt in this show when it was quite early days in this show and David Amos was murdered, which was absolutely appalling, brutal murder, had nothing to do with social media, had nothing to do with people criticising, complaining about politicians on social media, but was immediately pounced upon as justification for this. I find that very sinister, the way that they are going to attempt essentially to just chill criticism, I think, of the government, of any political activity. And
it's so vaguely worded that, anything can be interpreted as harm, and so it's ridiculous. And with stuff like this, it really needs to be specifically worded.
Yeah.
And we've seen mission creep in other legislation when the regulation of Investigatory Powers Act came through. That was intended, again, like the David Amos thing, it was intended to tackle terrorism, online child abuse, stuff like that. And within a couple of months, they were using it to catch fly tippers. And, it's always misused.
I mean, I would hang fly tippers. Express